Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Roll up my sleeve. Sorry, wrong hat. Hello there! I'm Scotty. You're not, and welcome back to Birth Month. We're on day. If you think I'm keeping track, you don't know me very well, do you? We are talking about The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, the movie that came out in the year 2000. Yes. I would think this is 5 years too late. Because, here's the thing. I know that the show came out in the 1960s, but when Cartoon Network was airing these, by 2000, I mean, they were, and I think that's why they were able to get a movie out. Because a lot of times it was the reruns for stuff that was getting movies. You have movies that came out in the 90s, you wouldn't think, based on TV shows like Richie Rich. Who was asking for a Richie Rich movie in the 90s? Right? Was it 94, 95? Around then. That's why I say this comes along there with Richie Rich and Dennis the Menace and others that came out around that time based on TV shows, cartoons, so to speak. But came out in the year 2000, which... Yes. And what I do like is, well, it's one of the first, I think, to do the animated characters go into the real world shtick. But I think as one of those, and probably the first to do it, no, not the first. Space Jam was there first in 96, but it's one of those early ones, but I think it does it pretty well. Like Space Jam. For all you guys wagging your fingers at Space Jam, shut up. Space Jam's a good movie, okay? And this is also a good movie. So the story here is that three villains from the fictional Soviet country of Pennsylvania in the cartoon of Rocky and Bullwinkle have snuck to the real world to take over the world, of course. And Rocky and Bullwinkle have to then cross over to stop them with the help of FBI agent Karen Sympathy. Yeah, the names in these movies are spot on. There's like agent... I don't remember. I don't remember. But just... Yeah... Well... It starts off with, going to the classic. They talk about 1964, the show went off the air, I guess. It was canceled. Lyndon Johnson was, like to do another term. Those two things are not connected at all. They just say that. And Rocky Bullwinkle show was canceled. And now it's the year 2000, and it's still canceled. But there's reruns. Cartoon Network was airing reruns. They did, and also Nickelodeon. They were on Nickelodeon for a while too. Nickelodeon had the rights, Cartoon Network had the rights. So combine that, movie, right? Meanwhile, they even talk about the Cold War ending and Iron Curtain falling, literally falling. Although that's technically a Berlin Wall. It's a wall that falls, but it's a curtain. It should have fell from the top, but. And then, so, Boris Bedanov and his wife Natasha and their boss and their fearless leader, decide to scam this woman who wants to make a Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. Now, I'm no expert, okay? But she hasn't signed the contract. They come into the real world, and when she presents the contract to the head of the studio, Carl Reiner, rest in peace, he says, I don't like moose pictures, and she tears the contract. When you tear the contract, that means it is void. Yes? Which means they should go back into cartoon. But no, we did that, then the movie wouldn't exist, so no. And now they're trying to take over the world, of course, with their new cable channel, RBTV, or Really Bad Television. Meanwhile, in Frostbite Falls, which I never knew until I watched this movie for the first time, that there was actually a name for where they were, because they're just little cartoon interstitial things. Where's the Fractured Fairy Tales movie? I love that shit, man. The Fractured Fairy Tales. That was some funny shit. Rocky Bullwinkle was cool, but the Fractured Fairy Tales, that was my shit. Every time I come up that little fairy, I'm like, yeah. That was funny shit. I wonder if I can find a compilation of that. By the way, another reason, they have done the spin-off show, Dudley Do Right, also had a movie in the 90s starring Brendan Fraser. It's Dudley Do Right. Yeah, it was a spin-off, but I think it also started on the show. I don't know, Dudley Do Right and Fractured Fairy Tales. But yeah, I don't know about the movie, and I've never seen it. Could be a candidate to do something someday, but yeah. And that was in the 90s, before this. So their spin-off got a movie before this, and that wasn't even as popular as this. Who? And I think it was the same studio too. I think it was also Universal. I also want to point out, this is one of those DVDs from back in the day that when you click on play, there's that ding, ding, there's like a sizzle reel for the Universal movies. Ding, ding, ding. Like, no menu, now play. Okay, we watch the movie now. So FBI Director Randy Quaid sends FBI agent Karen Sympathy, played by Piper Perabo, to get Rocky and Bullwinkle from that world. So she goes to a water tower, which it's not the Warner Brothers water tower. It's not a Warner Brothers picture. But she goes to a water tower, and she gives it the green light and brings them into our world. You know, give it the green light for the movie, but it's never gonna happen except this is the movie. So, by the way, the lady that has the contract and everything, Janine Garofalo cameo. There's a lot of cameos in here. Janine Garofalo, Jonathan Winters has 3 different cameos. Whoopi Goldberg, Billy Crystal. All we need is Robin Williams to finish that trifecta. He was not there. He was still alive, of course, and died for 14 more years, but he was doing other things. What was it? Awakenings? Or the other one? In 2000? What was it? The one with Pacino, directed by Nolan. What was it called? Don't remember. Not Awakenings, it was something else. I don't know. But anyway, so she rescues them, and when she's trying to tell them, she basically lies to everyone in this movie, basically. Tells them that she's trying to greenlight the movie or bring it back, and they want to replant the trees because after the show was canceled, I forgot to say, this cartoon world got dilapidated and all the trees were cut up. By the way, the way they have all the stumps in this forest, way too close together. You gotta have where the roots branch out. There's no way. There's like 2 right outside the house with that one on each side and like a foot from the house. That's not how they built the house right there. And then they're sucked into the real world when the green light is given. So is the narrator, who I realized was the same narrator from George of the Jungle, and is also the voice of Bullwinkle. And when the Potsylvania people, Fearless Later, Boris, and Natasha, they are in the cartoon, they are voiced by their cartoon voices. As soon as they get over here, it's Robert De Niro, Jason Alexander, and Rene Russo. They do a good job. De Niro notwithstanding, he's fine, but then there's just some things like he's back and forth. Like when someone questions, they're like, "Is it the first time that anyone has ever killed a cartoon?" What about Roger Rabbit? This is totally different! That's funny. But when he starts doing the, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? There's nobody else here, so you must be talking to me. We get it. We get it. He keeps going, by the way. Are you talking to me? Why is he saying that line? Because it's De Niro and tongue-in-cheek? I don't know. But, so they go on this cross-country journey. It's a road trip movie. It's a road trip movie. I like road trip movies. And, this and that Scoob movie was a road trip movie. Road trip, Euro trip, road trip 2. Yeah. I like road trips. Crossroads of Britney Spears. Have not seen that. Will not see that. My neck. Technically, Stand By Me is a road trip movie. The Goonies? No, that's a treasure hunting adventure movie. Anyway, so they decide they're gonna. I don't know where they're going. They're on their way to New York, I guess, is where they're going to go. So they have to travel from wherever she was to New York. Is there not? I guess they were in Hollywood, so they go to New York to stop RBTV. There. And why have I lost my mind? I don't remember what happens next. I don't remember what happens next. She gets arrested, but not yet. Maybe she does. Well, Boris and Natasha try going after them the cartoony way by trying to drop a safe on them. It doesn't work. And then, so Natasha calls in pretending to be Karen Sympathy and gets the real Karen Sympathy arrested. And we get a John Goodman cameo as a police officer. And she's like, I'm Agent Karen Sympathy. And he goes, yeah, and I'm John Goodman. I'm like, okay. And they're like, ooh, we're with her. And she's like, oh, yeah, she's going to jail. And they're like, ooh, bye, Bullwinkle. Yeah, they basically let her go to jail. And she's like, I'll deal with it somehow. You guys got to get to New York. So they're going. And they bump into Kenan and Kel. Doing weird voices. Little guys doing those weird kind of voices, But yeah, and so they go to What's a Out of You because now Boris and Natasha have hacked into this system or something and have set up a Bullwinkle appreciation. But there are anti-Moosites there, I guess, who don't like it. And so they have this thing called a CDI, which is what's going to destroy the cartoon. So they try to use it once and it destroys the helicopter, which is not a cartoon, but it's destroyed anyway, with Boris making a this is their own effect joke. And so he tries to use it, and the whole thing here is that Rocky hasn't flown in years and he can't fly. So he tries and does not fly. Nostalgia critic. Because he made a whole thing about it in his review about how the later thing of him flying isn't important because he flew earlier. No, he super jumped and didn't actually fly. It's falling with style. You watched Toy Story, right? That's what it is. He jumps up, but doesn't quite fly. Not yet. No. I do like Boris's line, I ain't a cartoon anymore. And then he falls. Still survives, so he's not completely human. But, yeah. So, they get Kenan and Kel's car and are now going to drive to Chicago for some reason. Or they're going to drive to New York, but they're going to Chicago first. Meanwhile, Karen tricks security guard named Oli, who speaks like these, to go to a movie, and then she steals his truck, and takes off. Yeah. She literally bumps into Rocky and Bullwinkle. They're reunited. All the cops show up, and we get well, no, the helicopter was the first Jonathan Winters cameo when Boris and Natasha sold the helicopter. That was the first one. We get the second cameo when he's now a police officer. Yes, and they're going to arrest them all. And they go to court because they allow a moose and squirrel in court. And Whoopi Goldberg pardons them when she puts her glasses on and is able to see it's them. Oh my God, she does that kind of voice. And lets them go. Why Karen gets off, I don't know. Because she should just pardon them and send Karen back to prison. She wasn't supposed to be in prison to begin with, but she did escape, and that is illegal. I know she's an FBI agent, but still. They're able to go free. And, yeah. But they don't have anywhere to go, really. So, I mean, any way to go somewhere. So they get a plane from Jonathan Winters, another Jonathan Winters camera, the third and final one, to fly off. And Boris and Natasha show up, and they don't make it, and they ponder being good, but then don't. They just go back and say they took care of them, and they get chocolates, and they're treated. They have the Pennsylvanian salute thing, and yeah. But Jonathan Winters screamed out, "No, I won't be able to hold all of you." And yes, there's too much weight. Yeah. So Rocky then is able to fly. He saves Karen, is able to fly, and he just flies Karen to New York. Meanwhile, Bullwinkle doesn't know which way he's going and literally crashes on the front lawn of the White House in Washington, D.C. And there's no security. Bullshit. Now, I know everyone's hypnotized, but still. He walks in and he finds Randy Quaid. Yes. And he's got a weird helmet thing on or something. So he emails Bullwinkle to where the Pennsylvania people are, because at this point, Rocky and Karen have arrived and are captured, and we find out that the other agents that were sent to stop them were turned into vegetables. And I like to point out, Spy Kids stole this. That's right. So when you're watching Spy Kids and you see that the other secret agents were turned into something else, they stole it from Rocky and Bullwinkle, because it's literally the same plot point of other agents went after them and were stopped and disappeared. And they've been changed into something else. And they did it in Spy Kids. And Spy Kids stole from this movie. So when you watch Spy Kids, back of your head, you got to say, oh, they stole that from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Because they did. Excuse me. That came out. Didn't mean for that to come out. Anyway. So Bullwinkle arrives and causes havoc with his antlers. Because earlier they said he could listen to music with it. And stop it by grabbing his nose. I still don't know what that does. But fine. So if I was listening to music, I can do this and stop it, right? I'm still yeah. I'm still standing. Yeah. But the day is saved by Rocky and Bullwinkle, and yeah, they're gonna turn Rocky into a vegetable, but everything is saved thanks to Bullwinkle. And Bullwinkle tells them to vote for whoever they want. Not gonna make that joke. Nope. Not gonna go there. Because elections and stupid people making stupid decisions. And now we have people back in the White House. What the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway. And I can't really say anything because I wasn't able to go out and vote. Because it's too far to get. Because even though I live here, I have to go halfway across town to do the vote. I used to be like one time it was across the street, and then they changed it to the library, which is still close to that. That's just right across the street. But I don't know. Nobody offered to take me, and I wasn't gonna push it, and yeah. Because I had faith in America, and that was misplaced. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Anyway, so Bullwinkle saves the day. They get commendated, and Karen learns to enjoy her inner child, because that was the whole thing, is she had to be a hard-boiled FBI agent, but she got over that, and then she goes back to Oli, who's still waiting at the theater eating a hamburger. Why is he still there? It's supposed to be a joke, and I get it. Everyone goes back to the world, including them. They're sent to the internet, but everyone goes back to the bad guys, I mean. Everyone goes back to Frostbite Falls. The trees are replanted because the president in our world is somehow able to do it there. Narrator gets to see his mom again. Everything is happy and hunky-dory and happy ending. The end. Yes. We also get Randy Quaid saying that he picked her because he knew she was a softie, and a hard-boiled agent wouldn't have worked. No, you know, because, I've seen pairings where the cop is the cynical person, and then there's the other one is goofy, like Theodore Rex, or Roger Rabbit, or Bonkers, which is basically Roger Rabbit, or Dragnet. Remember the Dragnet movie? Yeah, that's a good movie. Based off a good show. My name is Friday. I carry a badge. It's technically a sequel to the show because Dan Aykroyd is playing the son of Joe Friday from the show. And they even bring back the guy who was the partner as the new chief in them. So it is a sequel to that show. Oh, pretty good. This movie, that one. Well, maybe, I don't know. I haven't done that one yet. We'll see. But anyway, this movie, Rocky and Bullwinkle, was pretty good. So what are your thoughts on the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle? Leave me a comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.